So we are back again at Creative Camp Talks. This time we are with Cesar, Fraga and Maria, that are the two winners of the GLO contest, and Cesar is the mentoring for this electronic music week. The first question is, what does creativity stands for you guys? So
what creativity stands for?
Yes, for you.
I think it's self-explanatory, no? It's the ability to...
What is the process of creativity then?
What is the process? Well, in this case, it's to get together and try to understand each other and use everybody's ability to create something new and harmonious together.
Okay.
For me, I would like to add that creativity comes from the weirdest places. And for me, it comes a lot from my internal growth, you know. And as I metabolize everything that happens, the art becomes like a secondary product of my self-analysis.
The art is something that you metabolize and then
you need to be able to evolve, to be able to show, to reflect some of that in your art for it to be meaningful.
Okay, so this means this is nice.
Yeah, it's a reflection from inside.
Yourself,
of course. You do that anyway, whether you realize it or not.
Consciously or not, you do, of course.
Yeah. Same for me. I think it's also a way of life. I think we can all be creative in everything we do. So it doesn't even have to be this, music and but it comes from everything you live, just like Fraga said, and self-expression. I think it's important to have the courage to express yourself.
You come from different angles of the music, electronic, more classical, and more experimental, like everything. So how does all this fit in the overall program that you had here? You met so many artists and they come from so many directions. Didn't this make your job harder?
Yes, of course. That's the name of the game, is to try to combine these different influences, but that's where we can learn some things and discover some things. So, for example, sometimes we start a track with an idea from somebody. For example, they had this idea of the rhythm of the 9/8 rhythm, or an idea to start from a piano from Maria, then the others have to kind of like find a way to interact with it. So it's kind of it's both a challenge, but it's also what makes it exciting, because that's what pushes you a little bit. Like how do you bring your style into something else, and that's the exciting part. It's both challenging, but it's also the whole point of it, the whole point of why we're doing what we're doing.
And it gives you perspective as a producer. Being able to tackle and to fit in all those ideas and to choose from them and to have a real conversation with everybody, it really makes your producer mind even more focused on the big picture, because it's easy to get distracted. Every little piano line sounds nice, every little bass line sounds nice, but what do we choose, right?
So where do you stop in exploring and say, This
like a sixth sense that comes through with experience. You can feel after a few years of playing or whatever, you can feel that was a good line, that can make the song.
You have to, at some point, like, you start from jamming and kind of like putting things together, but at some point when something happens, to be like, it's like, this we need to
even
explore.
when there's so many people involved.
I guess it's harder.
It's a smile that goes around the room, It's like when everyone looks around, smiling, we got it. So it's without communication, without words,
I think playing in a band it was always hard, because either in bands you have a certain of communication that everybody should agree upon. Okay, this is the track, everybody is okay, this is one aspect, and the other one is that one chooses and says, no, it's done, or this line goes well. And I think in the camp, at what you guys did here, is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, because building that kind of trust takes time, and
Exactly.
we only spent a week here, but it's a...
And so many personalities.
Yeah. So it took a while even to accommodate ourselves with each other, you know. But that's the beauty of it, again.
Exactly, and you have to work together at the end of the week. And I think this, maybe you feel a little bit pushed that you have to do it. If you choose an artist to work with, you can always say after 2 or 3 sessions it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work, and it, you know, even with people that you know familiarly, sometimes you try to do something, it doesn't always work. It's also there's also certain humility to have to understand that it's not magic doesn't happen every second. It's like it's okay to fail. It's okay that it doesn't work at some point. It's like it's more how you carry on and do, and then eventually put the finger on something and make it work. It's this process of
To overcome the obstacles.
to overcome the things, like with, you know, humility. It's like, yes, sometimes I try something and it's not going to work with what's going on, and too late, and maybe we try more and then it's going to work. It's
Yeah, you have to be able to tolerate a small amount of uncertainty in the process.
Yeah,
you know, it
absolutely.
comes and
Yes.
goes.
What did you feel that it didn't work here?
What about it's not that it's
No, I mean like you had moments that really didn't work. I mean musically.
well, sometimes, you know, you all play together and it's just, it can be a little bit chaotic, you know, like it's like we're all looking for something sometimes, and you just like can be a bit chaotic until it eventually finds its way, you know.
But that's also on a personal level. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I cannot grab my own idea from my own head, and
Of course.
where's the communication there?
Yeah.
So it's a matter of inspiration, chance, and work, of course. But if you don't already have the building blocks, how can you force creativity? Am I right?
Yes.
You have to let it flow.
And I think one of the interesting parts here, what you guys did, was that you came with blank paper and you started to construct on it. You didn't have the building blocks,
No.
so you had nothing. Maybe some of you didn't know each other, and I think building trust, building sketches of tracks, then building a track, then
Yeah. It's a very good exercise. It's a
Yeah.
very good. I mean, to have, I've noticed that it's hard to have 5 producers in the same room, taking turns in producing something. That's unfortunate because how should I say, the infrastructure here is not yet where I would need it to be, maybe. And if we don't manage to cooperate between us and we put walls between us as independent producers, I think it's not necessarily good, you know.
and perhaps this.
This is a good exercise, and you can see that it's possible and it's worth it. Even though you have the human side where sometimes you wake up sad, maybe you have a bad day, but you know, together we can.
Maybe this is something that is called the music industry. You have to work it because you have a show next year, and everything has to be done.
It's good. Yeah, it's good to have a bit of a direction, of a pressure, time pressure to do something.
But for my personal band, if we don't have a deadline, we don't really work. So yeah.
How does it feel for you, the deadlines, and to be working on a strict schedule to finish producing something?
I like the deadlines because I'm the same, even with classical music, because I compose classical music sometimes. I rather work to a deadline. If I have a concert, I can write really quickly, or at least I try. So yeah, I'm very happy to have this show lined up, because then I know that we're working towards something, and and it's exciting to see also what we will do after this camp is over, because we will keep collaborating, and we want to come to a result that we all enjoy.
Do you feel that you have reached common ground, musically aesthetic, coming from so many musicians? Do you feel that you have reached something that would define the whole amount of personalities and the musicians you have here?
I don't think we should try to envelop this in a gender. I don't think this is a future type of conversation, because for me, the only way I can reach some amount of creativity is to mix together different personalities, different things, edgy stuff that usually you won't necessarily mix together, and to make it work. I mean, for me, this is my only chance to make something really a little bit original, because, you know, humans have been making music for thousands of years.
Yeah, the whole harmonies have already been invented. You can't do more. But my question was that from all your personalities, do you feel that the sound that will come up is something that has managed to grab a little part, to be coherent and to be something that stands for?
The thing that we're rehearsing for tonight is as a bit of everybody's personality.
That's a continuous work, which is totally fine.
And the thing is, I noticed that we can go and perform a standard thing, and we can go to a more experimental and more weird place as well in this type of group, because there's variety. There's this variety, and everybody comes from a background.
I think that having a show to perform in 40 minutes, as far as I understood, you have to produce 40 minutes of music, and it comes from so many people, is something that it could grow into so many directions, and the audience and the public will see something that explodes from one side to another side. And on the other hand, when you have a band, people know what to expect from every track. No matter how original you'll try to be, as a singer you tend to have the same voice, the same cadence of the rhymes, and
it depends, but usually, it's true.
But this is something also very good, because if you listen to Basta Rhymes on any track, you know it's Basta Rhymes there. Yeah, so I think that in your case it's something that can explode, and the public would not expect something like this.
And I think this is very good, because we're in the scroll era, am I right? I mean, who listens to a 5-minute song from top to bottom? Scroll, okay, next thing. In the same song, scrolling in the same, next style.
It's Insta moment, it's story.
Really, attention span is very low.
So it's like
not now.
And then at some point, like, everybody just on the one.
Do you think that, or did you consider your music, or what would you produce, it's target oriented as age or something like this, or you just make music?
No, we just made music.
It was just a curiosity.
We made music based on different ideas, on experimentation, on just and then we have a wide variety of things, and then after this we'll more like try to select those that are coherent together. But I think it's also important to create without having too much of a target, not to restrict the creativity. Mm-hmm. If you like try to do something for the young pop whatever, it's it's also good for some people, but like in this situation, I think it's limiting. It's
Totally agree.
And it would be dictating and restricting the artists. The idea is to put artists from different backgrounds and see what they're gonna come up with. So it's you need to have room to explore and not try to just redo something that's already done. That's
the question. I totally agree. The question came from the nowadays question and task that you heard that you hear at a lot of producers making music for Gen Z, for the young generation, because they hit hard the play button. And I think this is a discussion and a topic you hear a lot in production studios. Let's make music for the young generation, and it's like a selling product. I think that they have the same selling. Let's sell to the young generation.
If you make it like an offering, I think it's different, isn't it?
You know, at the end of the day, I think that, or maybe this could be a discussion, and I think music is so related to everyone's personality. You see people making music just to express something. Others are making music just to earn money out of it. It's music with soul and music without soul. At the end of the day. But I think that it's very hard not to have soul when so many personalities and musicians are here invited. What do you feel it was a break point in what you did so far? That moment that you said that how great the atmosphere is here.
I think it's when we started to do this thing where we try to get everybody together because we have to do this video.
And when it starts to groove.
And like groove, and but that we had everybody involved, because like sometimes in the sessions we have 2, 3, 4, 5, like it's or 70% of the people, and here we had to make it all together. And the moment that we were all together and all feeling that this is all grooving together, this was I think
that's a great feeling. Yes,
a good moment.
Sure, there were a lot of good moments, but this one was all inclusive.
Because
we were all there.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get all the people all together?
No, but it's just more fun when everybody's there. So there were a lot of great moments, but he was mentioning the best moment.
Yeah. Because it's important to play well, but it's also important to sometimes to retract yourself, to let something happening, in this process. So as she said, there was a lot of great moments where we have formations that were 4 or 5 and things,
3,
and these are great. 3, 2 sometimes even, and it's lovely.
You can just feel the emotion and the strength of the intensity of the moment. Yeah.
So it's almost the end of the week for you. I think tomorrow is the living part. Do you feel that you got what you need so far, because you recorded a lot? You had the key moments.
I think we have more than we need.
Yeah.
But that's really good. And there was a lot more there to come.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We could hear the potential on the first day when we were jamming quite freely, and I think there were quite a lot of good ideas just bouncing around. And then the work got more focused.
I think we have a lot of materials, very, very diverse stuff. Yeah, we have what we need.
How did you interact with people coming from Japan, with Taku?
First of all, they're so nice.
Yeah,
they're so lovely that it was kind of easy.
Yeah, it was so easy, and they're fun. They always want to do things. They have nice ideas. They're into everything. So it was really nice.
Did you feel as not a language but a culture barrier in boundary in between?
Not at all.
Their pronunciation in Romanian is absolutely perfect. I mean, when they try words in Romanian, they sound perfect.
Yeah?
Yes, they have perfect ear. Perfect.
I also heard Mitsu say.
Yes, and they can say perfectly all our weird groups of sounds. They're very nice, and We worked together on a track with Taku.
You and Horatio.
Yes, and Maria. And it was really.
But we all recorded on it, actually. We all recorded on it.
He played us one of his track that he produced a few years ago. And the idea was that we were gonna just listen to it and try to recreate, to make a live remix, basically, you know? So that was a kind of an interesting challenge, very new, different approach from normal.
Yes, and he was very open to any ideas, really pleasant to work with.
Very, very
Horatio contributed a lot to the track afterwards in the production, and Taku was like super welcoming all these, because Horatio had like loads of ideas, just like a huge flow, just unstoppable, you know. And so I felt like Taku was so generous and so gentle. Yeah,
Very open.
and well, because he also wanted to destroy the track, you know. Yeah, so he wanted it to go further than, you know, the original, quite far.
Did you feel that at certain points you felt like pushing more into, I don't know, your own musical direction or perspective? One of the moments?
No need to push. Everything was so fluid, and
I think for me there is a bit of, you know, introducing also my voice, and sometimes it takes time, but I think that's good, in the sense that it's not about pushing something, but it's about learning how to bridge all these different styles, because yeah, it's a process, it's growth. You know?
Yes.
Thank you very much for the interview.
No, pleasure. Thanks for having us.
We wait to see the final 40 minutes next year at Electric Castle, and I'm sure that from all these amazing musicians and personalities, I think the show will be one of a kind.
yes, for sure.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.